All right. Sorry, guys, getting things situated here. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Unity Podcast. This is episode 11. Man, 11 episodes already. Wow. Anyway, just thought I would talk today about some current updates and some positivity, things that are happening around the world as we speak. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, whoever's tuning in. I am joined today by. I'm joined tonight by Aaron and Ashley.
Hey. Hey.
So, just again, Aaron, for those people who are just tuning in now, who haven't heard before, just tell us where you're from and how things are going on, or how things are going over there.
Okay, well, I live in Alabama, specifically northern Alabama. And Alabama currently has 1,800 cases. Last we checked, between 30 and 50 deaths, I do believe. And so the level, it's getting better. Our governor finally did a stay-at-home, which is a stay-at-home order
Hey,
on
Aaron.
Saturday. So that was good. And I had to go to the grocery store a couple of days ago because, with the delivery, you can only do it, so many people are doing it that, you have to wait several days, and we were out of some stuff, so I had to go and get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that, see, I always wear a mask, even without the virus going around, especially during cold and flu season. And so every time I go out, I always wear a mask anyway. And so when this first started, I was noticing that hardly anybody else was wearing a mask.
Hi, James.
But over this weekend, when I went out, I noticed that more and more people were actually starting to wear masks and were adhering to the 6-foot social distancing rule a lot better than they had been. So people are actually really starting to really take it serious about it. Not that they haven't before, but it's a lot more serious than it was. So, and the overstocking and hoarding and everything has seemed to calm down too. So that's all good too. So
Good.
It's getting a little bit better.
Good. Well, and Ashley, why don't you tell people a little bit where you're from? I mean, for those of you that don't know, me and my friend Ashley, we live on the same island on Maui. She just lives on the other side.
I live on the east side of Maui in a little town called Hana. And Hana's been pretty good. We only had one case of COVID-19. And we shut down both our roads into Hana, back side, which is the Kaupo side, and the Hana winding road. So nobody but residents can come in and out of Hana.
That's a good measure. Yeah, because I know that one of our senators, Jay Kalani English, was concerned about Hana. Because, I mean, it can spread fast. So it's a good thing that you guys locked it down, addressed that when you did.
Yes, and then today was the last day of all our stores opening for the community.
So you guys had to stock up today, basically.
Well, the stores are still going to be open, but we only can call in and take give them our orders, and then they'll bring it out to us to the cart.
Oh, did they deliver to the house or only pick up?
Only pick up.
Okay.
No,
Well,
that's
that's a good thing, though. Yeah, keep everybody out of the worst. I like that.
yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I know here here recently, I think within the last couple of days, they started to only allow I think it was like 30 people or maybe 50 people inside of Costco at one time. You know, because Costco's across the nation are potential hotspots for for the spread. So they
Yeah, I know our local Walmart, which I haven't been to Walmart. I go to a local grocery store here called Hometown.
Mhm.
But our local Walmart, and I think it's across the nation with all the Walmarts, but they started doing where you have to wait in line outside 6 foot apart because they only allow so many people in the store at one time, and you're not allowed to browse anymore. You go in, get your stuff that you need, and get out, which is really good too, because this is not the time to browse for stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I've been doing the same thing here at Walmart and Costco.
Yeah, they really don't want you, at least as far as what I've seen, that like the proper protocol is seems like pretty much everywhere doesn't want shoppers to just browse anymore. Like if you're gonna buy something, they want you to commit to buying that item so that you don't go around touching other things. Because that reduces the risk. So the other thing that's happening here, just to touch on for people listening from the mainland. Oh shit! So my other friend Erin, she's in the live chat. She's saying that her parents were at Costco in California, and their Costco was allowing 200 people in at a time. Well, Aaron, from what I understand today, because I was watching some of the briefing today, and Dr. Fauci and I'm just gonna call her Deb because I keep forgetting her last name, but from what they said, from the data that is coming in now, Dr. Fauci and her said that surprisingly, they're starting to see some changes in the numbers, like a slowing down, and in some places an actual decline. So Dr. Fauci was saying how California, I believe he said San Diego, but there's a flattening already taking place. So they're very excited. They're cautiously optimistic, but they're saying that the mitigation effects are working. More people are taking this seriously. Thank fucking finally. Okay, all right. So James is also saying that they're limiting essential purchases per customer. So that's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
When I went to Hometown, I noticed that the toilet paper, especially paper towels, are still
right.
going quick. And so they put signs over the store with certain items, especially the paper products, that they're limiting them to per person.
Right.
Per person. And I would just like to add completely off topic. Aaron, I love the spelling of your name.
So, the other thing that I want to briefly talk about is there's now globally about 120 companies around the world that are working on vaccines. That's up from the 20 vaccines that I mentioned previously. Aaron says thanks, by the way.
Yeah, it's hard.
So, there's 120 companies working on vaccines. There's also a CEO of a lab company that is actually working on the antibody, an antibody sort of vaccine, and that's promising. But he says it's still going to take a couple months. But when it's out, he said the FDA is going to. He put in a request to the FDA, and most likely they are going to fast track it. But essentially, what it's going to do is it's going to take antibodies that they've used against SARS-CoV-1, another coronavirus, and that these antibodies were able to halt the progression of that virus. So he's hoping that if he can do a large trial, and he's hopeful that it is going to be positive results. So that's another good thing that's happening.
Yeah,
and then the other one that I heard of today, which is really promising, another CEO of a company that works with human cells, they've actually taken a different approach, and they're looking at the human body's NK cells, also known as natural killer cells. Now, the important thing about these cells is that they are geared for attacking and consuming cancer cells, and they're very effective. So he believes that NK cells are key in fighting off this virus as well, because NK cells also consume and destroy viruses. So they already are rolling out the testing within this month. They're already rolling out trials. I think he said over 100 or so patients are already being treated with this. So they're monitoring that, but he's hopeful as well. So we have some developments taking place right now. So there's promising news out there right now. And the other thing I wanted to mention real quick is what I've been noticing, and I'm sure a lot of us have been noticing, is there is a lot of outpouring of just support, of just compassion from many, many countries around the world. It's just amazing seeing countries working together. China, in fact, just sent, I think, like 20,000 or so masks over to New York, ventilators, gowns, and more people within communities across the United States are taking it upon themselves to really step up. And I mean, we're seeing people 3D printing face shields. People are providing masks. And the other thing I just saw was a company that's basically in charge of manufacturing all of the official uniforms in the the national the baseball league are switching over their manufacturing to developing masks and protective clothing for the healthcare professionals. So it's just amazing to see the world
That's really good. Yeah.
changing. You know, like it's just every day. It's like I'm seeing some new positive thing, and it's the kind of thing that really, yeah, it, yeah, James, that's true. But I think like James just put that an article suggested that the 9/11 era is over, and rarely does humanity come together like this. And so I think what's happening is we're seeing a cultural revolution somehow. We are we're stepping into a new age, and you know I told one of my friends and my mom this the other day. I said that this is not the end of our story. This is not the end of our story. This is the end of a chapter, but it's the beginning of a brand new chapter, and it's one that
Yeah.
we're all going to write together. And the incredible thing is that, for the most part, people have done away with pettiness, with selfishness. Um, you know, obviously, I mean, you still have some dense morons out there, but like a huge majority of the human race has come together, uh, basically overnight. And you know, I talked about before how I was having some severe anxiety attacks within like the first week or two when I started to hear how the virus was spreading from China to Europe. And you know, that's why I well, I won't mention it here because I don't want any other repercussions. But basically, I've been staying home for about like 5 weeks already. But with those first like week or week and a half, I was just freaking out. Like I know a lot of people are still, and you know, as someone who has anxiety, I mean, Aaron, you know,
Yeah.
like you jump, you tend to think about the big picture, and your mind, at least my mind, comes up with worst case scenarios, and then I become convinced that those things are going to happen. And
Not only that, but your mind seems to snowball. Like you'll think, if this happens, then this is going to happen, this will happen,
Yeah.
and that will happen. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger into bigger and bigger things
mhm,
on a bigger scale. And then you go like years into the future because you're snowballing so fast, so far.
exactly. So when I was going through that, at first, I think as most of us do, I tried to fight it. You know, I tried to wrestle with my mind, and I tried to say, you know, calm the fuck down. You know, you're gonna stress yourself out, and it would go away. It would go away for a minute or so, you know, and when I thought that hey, what's up, Shay? Um, when I thought that I was fine, uh, then suddenly like the next minute, I would have this wave of anxiety just hit me again, and it was fucking tiring. I was battling it every day. But then, as I started to see the bits of good news coming in the form of, you know, people starting to chip in any way they could. People doing things for one another. I took a look at myself and I said, you know what? I think I found hope. And I let the fear sort of flow through me, as they say in Star Wars. But I let it out. I didn't fight it anymore. And then I had this sense that I could finally breathe. And again, guys, I know that not all of you are going to be able to have the same moment that I did, or maybe even take the same approach. And it's fine.
Yeah,
You don't have to. I'm just saying what worked for me and how I'm able to be positive now. So
because there is no right or wrong way of dealing with anxiety. However you're able to deal with it is the right way.
Yeah. So I started to look at just how unwavering the human spirit is right now, and how resilient we are as a species. And for me, I started to sit back and I'm like, hey, you know what? We're gonna get through this. We are gonna get through this because humanity is, if nothing, tenacious. We are tenacious. Look at our history. I mean, our species has existed hundreds of thousands of years, and we've survived tremendous cataclysms. We push past the odds so many times. We beat so many things, and we are going to beat this. And I mean, every day now I'm seeing hope, and it's wonderful. It's amazing to me. So I've been able to find my center that way, and that's my faith. My faith is in you. My faith is in you. My faith is in everyone, in humanity, and our ability to keep getting up when we've been knocked down. So that's what worked for me, and I'm just curious. Aaron, I know you mentioned it before, but we've got some new viewers, so if you want to mention what helps you get through things, and then Ashley, you can mention that stuff too if you want.
Well, like I mentioned before, but like you said, we got some new viewers and stuff. What helped me, especially with my particular type of anxiety, is staying informed. Researching and reading and watching the news as much as I possibly can, knowing when things happen, how things happen, all that stuff, knowing all that stuff and staying informed on it is what helps me get through. Because I feel like there's some type of control, because I feel like, oh, I know what is happening, so I have it's like an illusion of control, and it really helps me.
And Ashley, what about you?
I would say about the same thing as Aaron, and having friends help me through it.
Yeah, definitely. Having people to talk to and everything helps too.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course,
like a phone call or messages.
Yeah. And then, of course, taking a little bit of a break by reading or playing a game or watching a movie or something like that. That helps too, because it kind of refreshes your mind a little bit and gets your mind off of everything just for a little bit. That helps too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, reading a book. I've actually been able to um, uh, I've actually been able to start working on my book that I finished like 3-4 chapters back like in last year, and I stopped like a quarter of the way through. But now I actually have the chance to work on that. Um, and the book that I'm writing is a sort of fan. It's my take on the Destiny universe. If anyone's ever played that game before or knows what it is, I made my own original character, and it's sort of a horror, sci-fi, mystery, romance, adventure thing all jumbled into one. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I mean, this is a time, guys. This is a time to be, really connect with your families. Um, Work on your projects that you never had a chance to finish. Or I think a lot of like one of the wonderful things that I've seen is a lot of creativity out there. People are using Instagram in new ways. There's a lot of TikTok videos. By the way, I can't fucking believe that I even I even decided to download that shit, but I did. Um, anyway, people are putting art. I mean, they're learning new things. It's great. So this is a time to do something that you've always wanted to do. Learn something.
I saw a picture, and I would like to add, because I was talking about, if you, come out of this with, a new skill or something like that, but it was saying that don't force yourself to, just because you could do that, which would be great, but if you feel like you still lack motivation or you don't want to do it or you don't want to take up a new skill, so don't feel like you have to. It's just a suggestion that, hey, if you want to, this is, you definitely should, but don't think that you absolutely have to do something like that.
Right.
It's just a suggestion. Yeah. And I would like to add, too, this is a little off topic, but I was reading something where somebody was saying that the virus is named COVID-19 because there's 18 other coronaviruses or something. That's not why it's named COVID-19. It's named COVID-19. The 19 stands for 2019 when it was discovered. There's only about 7 or 8 other types of coronaviruses. Don't believe the misinformation, people.
Yeah. And that's a good thing that you brought that up because, guys, there's a lot of misinformation out there right now. I know that we've spoken quite a few times here on the podcast about things from various from the news, but the things that we've spoken about are verifiable. I know that a lot of you guys must have seen that that sort of list of stuff to prevent the coronavirus, including the drinking hot stuff. What was another one? Oh, salt water. Salt water. Gargling salt water is only good for relieving a sore throat. It cannot kill the virus. Drinking hot stuff also cannot kill the virus.
It's good for sore throat congestion, but that's all it's good for.
Yeah. So just be mindful. A great service, if you guys haven't heard about it, is called Snopes. If you want to make sure...
PolitiFact is a good one, too.
Yeah. If you want to make sure that you're getting, or the things that you hear... oh, by the way, James has been posting some pretty cool stuff. So
Yeah,
I want to read from this right now. If you guys haven't seen Independence Day, the first one, do not see the second one because that one I was like, what the fuck? I watched that shit. I was like, this is not good. The first one, is OG. That's the good one. Anyway,
That president's speech, no matter how many times I hear it, always gives me chills. It's a great speech.
yes. So I wanna include that here. This is a speech from President Whitmore in Independence Day. Mankind. That word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests. But this is the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. And I would like to add to that, we are going to survive because we've got each other.
Yep.
We are humans. We are hyper intelligent. We know how to adapt. And most importantly, we have the potential of greatness. And we have such a ability to love, a tremendous amount of love we can give to each other.
But, yeah,
That's important.
Going back to the misinformation thing, too, I was going to add that be sure that when you're reading or researching something, that it's from a reputable source, not some shady YouTube link of some person's opinion, not some blog post or some link from some blog or whatever that you don't know. It has to be, a reputable source, to get the correct information. And please don't believe, because one of the people that I had to remove from my Facebook recently shared a video from YouTube that some lady who claimed to be a medical professional in the video, but I couldn't even watch the whole thing because it was so full of misinformation. She was talking about how viruses cannot live outside the human body, and that if that was true, then why doesn't everybody have AIDS? And I'm sitting here thinking, AIDS does not, you don't get AIDS by airborne like that. That's why. And, I had to tell this person on my Facebook, viruses can, in fact, live outside the human body. And I even had to cite a scientific paper to, but there's so much misinformation, and if it just seems weird, look it up. See if it's actually true or not, because Google really does have a lot of information on it, and it's kind of easy to tell when something just seems off. If it seems off, then chances are it's not correct. So just, take the time to look it up and try to understand what's going on, and don't just believe something because it suits what your opinion is, because facts are different than opinions and beliefs.
Yeah.
Just because it suits you and goes with what you say does not mean it's real. It doesn't mean it's fact.
Yeah, and the other thing, you'll see a lot of people that for example, in her case, I don't know if she was posing as a doctor or what, but
yeah, that worries me. Like, how can a medical professional or someone who claims to be a medical professional tout something about something that is so incredibly wrong? That worries me.
Yeah, no, here's another thing is, I'm sure a lot of you guys, or maybe some of you have heard of Dr. Oz, and I know that there's people out there that have their their feelings about him, but even he even he would not make such an erroneous statement like that. And
Like,
what I've he's been doing, actually, in my opinion, some pretty informative videos lately, but he's been interviewing doctors that are on the front lines, asking them what's working, what's not working, getting updates on the various treatments that they're trying. So, I mean, like that's personally, that's what I like to see, is when someone is sort of interviewing somebody that's there on the front lines, someone that's like, knows what they're doing, and talks about the treatments that they're doing. So
James, I've never seen Outbreak.
yeah, I've never seen Outbreak either, but I don't think I don't think now I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you guys know I have some pretty dark humor at times, but I think this right now is too soon to joke about.
I don't know what Outbreak is about, so.
It's James. Correct me if I'm wrong, or Aaron, but it's about a very similar situation, isn't it? Where there's a virus that's unleashed into the global community. It's not like the T virus in Resident Evil, right? At least I don't think so. I mean, I know I've seen like some like trailer and stuff. Hey Mel. Hi Mel.
The closest movie I've come to that I used to watch that was the closest to what I feel like we're going through now is that movie Contagion, because it involved the virus that got mutated between the pig and the bat, and caused fevers and stuff like that in people, and was killing them. And some people were immune, some people weren't. Has anybody ever seen that movie? I mean, it was a good movie, but I just can't watch it now because it hits too close to home.
I think I know that's the one that came out in 2011, right? That everyone's talking about now.
Yeah, I think it had I think it was Nicole Kidman who was in it.
Oh.
Some really popular. Oh, what was her name? Anyway, and she was the patient zero that was the first person infected that ended up causing the spread and everything. But yeah, it's like I said, good movie. It's just it's way too close to home because it's way too familiar now.
Yeah, like that. That's why I'm gonna avoid. And guys too. For any gamers out there, there's a game called The Division. But I'm talking specifically about The Division 2. And before this whole thing started spiraling, snowballing as it's done, I was playing that game. And the basic premise is about that there's this thing called the green poison, which was also a viral outbreak, and it brought global governments and just overall civilization to its knees. And like Washington D.C. was in that game. I think is the epicenter of the outbreak in the U.S. But I gotta tell you, when this shit started, I have not picked up that game since. It was just there were just too many things that lined up with what's happening. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break from that.
Right?
I don't want to deal with any negativity right now, you know. But so Ash, so what have you been doing as far as like keeping occupied and things like that?
We have a lot of freshwater ponds near us, so I've been walking to the freshwater pond that is closest to my house and walking back.
That's good. Getting some
just to get out of the house for a little while.
Yeah, getting some exercise in.
Yeah.
Aaron, it was the Division. Yeah, I think they have it on. They have it on They have it on PS4 and Xbox also. There's two games. There's Division and Division 2. I have Division 2. When I bought it, part of the reason why I bought it was like when it was on the Xbox store, it was fucking $3. And I was like, oh shit, like fucking $3 for a game? I'm like, hell yeah, I'll get it. And then shit hit the fan. Yep. So again, I just want to say for anyone that's tuning in now, we're moving forward. It's a little bit slow, but we're moving forward. We just gotta hold on, be patient with ourselves, and be compassionate, and just stay safe. Follow the guidelines. There's a group that I moderate on here. It's called Stay at Home Maui Resources, and right now I think we have Ash, do you know if we have like 10,000 members? A little over 10,000, I think. Yeah, I think we have a little over 10,000. But so I help moderate that, and I've got to say it is really, really, really amazing. The people that are on there, the people that are contributing.
Around 4,000.
4,000. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so almost 5,000. There's more people that are trying to join though. But we have like people that are in the realm of mental health in there. We have people that know how to sew, that can offer tutorials. People that are exchanging, giving supplies to one another, dropping things off. And I just want to say that's incredible. I love seeing the support. Recently, I actually posted in there that I had this idea of when we're out of this thing and things calm down. Hey, Claudia. When things calm down, that we should do a meetup. And there's been a tremendous positive response to that.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, Aaron. See you around. Thanks for tuning in. Check out my SoundCloud if you can. It's soundcloud.com/the Unity Podcast. Yeah, and you and James can listen to, if you guys haven't, you can listen to the other episodes I did. But yeah, stay safe. Hopefully you guys will join again. Anyway, so what I want to do on this platform also, I'm actually thinking about using Zoom at some point too. If anyone would be interested in that, do like a video conferencing thing, form of the podcast. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to interact with you guys. Erin, I think she wants to interact with you guys. I know that we've talked about in the past on previous episodes. If you guys have any ideas on or any suggestions on what you guys want us to talk about, or if you just want to hear like some general banter, because I know for some people that gives a sense of normalcy. So I'm here for you guys. We're here for you guys. So if you got any questions or suggestions, just drop them in the live chat. If you do swing by my SoundCloud, please follow me there. Comment on the episodes or whatever episodes you guys listen to, and share it. That'll help greatly. And and my YouTube. Thanks. I almost forgot about that. And actually, fuck, I've been forgetting to upload the previous episodes that we did. So yeah, I'll be uploading this on my YouTube channel. It's Electric Panda 808, all one word. Check it out. Follow me on there. Subscribe and slap that notification bell so you guys can keep up to date when I upload something new. And share, because we want to bring more people in. We want we want to spread as much love and positivity as we can, and also try and keep you guys informed on what's going on. So I do want to also mention, if you guys haven't seen The Office, or if you guys have seen The Office, there's a character on there called Jim, one of my absolute favorites. But the actor's name is John Krasinski. So he's got a Facebook page. You guys can go check him out. And he's been doing something great. He started his own news network from his home called Some Good News. And it's really inspiring. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. He shares like a lot of the positive things that are happening around the world right now. And it's just incredible. So you guys check that out too. But if you guys want to hear anything, let me know. Maybe if you guys are into some music, I can also drop my Spotify on here. But I do want to apologize beforehand. I was being sort of stupid when I made the my Spotify name. So don't judge, okay? Don't judge me. I was being I was being silly when and maybe a little bit crass to some of you, but I'll drop it here. My Spotify is Dropped it there.
Yeah, hard judging.
so follow my playlists on there. I got some good playlists. Lots of different genres. Help you stay positive because music is also incredibly healing. So
definitely.
And I do want to mention, if any of you are fans of anime, you really should check out Cells at Work on Netflix. It's taken from real science, but it's an amazing novel approach at educating people on how the human body works. It is really amazing, and it'll give you a newfound appreciation for your own body and how to take care of it, and just showing you how strong we are. So yeah, check that out. I would definitely recommend that. How about you, Aaron? You got anything you want to recommend?
Nothing I can think of right now. My mind's kind of going blank a little bit. But yeah, definitely check out Cells at Work because that's seriously a great show.
Yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised when I watched it.
Sun's gonna only have one season, though.
Yeah, but I'm sure it'll come back, especially now. I mean, now there's much more of a reason to bring it back. You know what I mean? With everything that's going on, so.
Hopefully they do, because it was really good.
Yeah, it was. Oh, hang on a second. I think we lost her. Hey, we got you back.
Hey.
No, you're good.
The junk part of Hana, the Wi-Fi and the rain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's pretty much always raining there. For those of you that don't know, Hana is like it's its own like rainforest ecosystem over there. So it produces its own. Oh yeah, well, Claudia Inuyasha that's classic. That's OG status. That's such a good anime.
I really need to start over and watch Inuyasha from the beginning. So I used to watch it in the 90s when it would come on Toonami on Adult Swim. But I didn't get to watch it straight through, but I loved Inuyasha.
Another good one is Trigun. That's a really, really good anime. Cowboy Bebop. Samurai Champloo. It's fucking incredible. Really underrated, in my opinion. And sorely missed. That was such a good anime. Yeah, right? What's another good one? There's a lot of them.
Death Note's really good. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which, you can... I know a lot of people prefer the 2003 Full Metal Alchemist, but I prefer Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And from like Madoka Magica is really good. It's just really weird and kind of hard to follow sometimes, but it's really good and fast. Soul Eater is really good too.
So I just had a thought. Oh, Mob Psycho is a good one. If you want something sort of over the top and comedic but brutal at the same time, definitely check out One Punch Man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Saitama is a fucking boss.
He's hilarious too.
Um, and of course, I'm sure a lot of you fucking know already. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. I know that there's a lot of mixed feelings about Dragon Ball Super, but it had a lot of cool moments. So that's a good one too.
Hellsing is a good one.
Hellsing, yep.
Oh, and Death Parade. There's an anime. I think it was only like 12 episodes. It's called Death Parade, and it's so good. I wish they had more episodes, but it's so good. It's like it's kind of like what happens when people die, where they go to this like bar thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're judged like whether or not they go to heaven or hell, whether or not they get reincarnated and stuff, and they have to play these weird games and everything. Oh, it's super good. But it's called Death Parade.
Oh, and Yu Yu Hakusho is a good one too. Blood, I would say Blood, the Last Vampire. Gantz is a good one. Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter, you can pronounce it either way. That's a real good one. Unfortunately, the anime ended too soon.
Yeah.
The manga is really, really incredible, though. The anime is really good too, but you should check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And
I didn't see all of Attack on Titan, but what I watched, I really enjoyed.
Fate Zero. Basically, all of the Fate animes are really good. There's a lot of them you guys can watch. Bleach is a good one. I'm so happy that they're gonna bring it back. When this is all over, they're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
And it's gonna.
Tokyo Ghoul is a good one too.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't like the second season of Tokyo Ghoul. I haven't seen it, but the first season is really good. Tokyo Ghoul is super good.
Elfen Lied is good too. Really brutal, but awesome. And God, there was one. Oh, Furikuri is another good one. I'm not sure. I mean, you could probably find it on one of the anime sites. And then Naruto Shippuden. I know that there's people that say, "Oh, that's too mainstream," but really, it's really good. It's really good. There's
it's good. It doesn't matter how popular something is.
Yeah.
It's like how I feel about Death Note. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, that's too popular, it's too long known, blah blah blah." It's a really good anime. I mean, it's so fucking good.
The son of Satan, and he had blue flames. I'm not sure. I know that there's an anime called Devilman Crybaby. That's pretty insane. Blue Exorcist, maybe. Black Butler was another favorite of mine.
We have Black Butler. So freaking good.
I won't comment on. I won't say what I want to say. Um, it just that one ended too early too. I wanted them to
What, though?
continue.
Yeah. It was good, though. You want
But
something old school? Cowboy Bebop is always really good, too.
yep. Yeah, the movie was fucking great too.
I only saw episodes through Toonami way back when, and I never really got to see the whole thing. But what I watched, I really enjoyed. So.
Anyway.
As a matter of fact, I think Adult Swim still does Toonami on Saturdays. So, like, if you're not sure what you want to watch, just watch Toonami
Right.
on Adult Swim on Saturdays. I think it's still on Saturdays, and check some out. Check some that you probably wouldn't normally watch out.
Let me just look up. I want it real quick. I wanted to give you guys. Let's see. Okay. All right. So here's what I wanted to mention real quick in regards to what I mentioned earlier about new treatments. So this is about the cell treatment that's getting underway as we speak. So it's from a New Jersey-based therapeutics company, Cellularity. It says the cell therapy works by boosting the body's early immune response in a way that could target the coronavirus. The company transforms placental stem cells into one-size-fits-all natural killer cells that act as sentinels and keep the virus from replicating out of control. Some researchers caution that the strategy is highly uncertain and potentially risky, but if the treatment proves safe and effective, Cellularity will ramp up production quickly. So, from what I heard today, they're already taking a group of patients volunteered for this treatment, and they are monitoring them as we speak. But I think the approach is actually pretty sound. I mean, obviously, I'm not a medical professional, but when you know some of the mechanics of the body, and that the natural killer cells, they are part of the white blood cells. They are a white blood cell, and they comprise, I believe, it's 10% or 15% of your the lymphocytes. So they are specialized killers of powerful things like cancer. It's just the problem, according to one study, is that there's a lot of people who are hospitalized that have very, 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 very low NK cells. And these patients seem to be the ones that go on to have serious complications. So there's some doctors that believe that there is a correlation between low NK cell count in the body and being susceptible to the virus. That's why they're doing this approach. But there are things in the works, guys. So just hang on. chill. Don't panic. We're gonna get through it.
And stay home.
Yes, stay home. If you are going to go out, I don't know how it is in some of if you guys are living in other countries, but some countries, including the U.S., has started to say to use masks when you go out. That's not to protect. What you're doing is you are protecting someone else. So your mask is on to protect someone else, and their mask is on to protect you.
Because they were saying, the doctors were saying that they think the virus can not only, be expressed from you when you cough or sneeze, but also when you talk. So the mask is there to protect everybody else.
Yeah. But again, I just want to mention again before we wrap this up. There's some indication. Again, being cautiously optimistic, but there is some indication, according to Dr. Fauci and Deb, that the mitigation efforts are working and that people are paying attention. And in some places across the United States, they're starting to see it working. So we just got to keep it up, guys. Keep it up. We're doing fine. At least those of us that are listening are doing fine. And I know it's a fine line. It's definitely a fine line, because you see people out, they're fucking up. They're going to other people's houses. It's fucking frustrating, believe me. Every time I see shit, because again, I've seen this shit on my own friends list. I won't name names, but there are people who have been posting in their stories, like chilling with their friends, like going over their houses and shit. That is why it fucking spreads. So
yeah.
I know that there's a lot of us that would just like to just fucking just fucking yell at them, or do something. But like here on Maui, our police department has actually stopped. They've stopped warning people, and now they're straight up giving them citations.
Good.
$5,000, I believe it is.
Good.
And if they do it a second time, it's 1 year imprisonment. So again, guys, like, why risk it? I mean, what's the point? And think about it. Do you guys want friends to hang out with? Because if you're going over, the harsh reality is, I'm gonna be as fucking real with you guys as I can be here. When you're going over to your friend's house, okay, or even going over to your family's house, your aunties, your uncles, whatever, if you don't live in that house, you're not supposed to be there. So when you go over there, you may be asymptomatic. You may not even know that you have it. And what you're doing is you're spreading it to your family members, to your friends, who may be weaker than you in their immune system. And then what? Like, how would you feel if they become one of the critical patients?
Because you'd be directly responsible for illness and or death.
Yeah, all because you wanted, you wanted a beer, or you wanted some dick, or you wanted some ass. Yep. Guys, I mean, I get it. There's urges, but this is not the time for that. If you really must, there's services like Pornhub that are giving premium away for free right now.
Masturbation is a thing, people. I mean, come on.
And it's been scientifically proven. I actually just read an article that was published, I think it was a week or two ago, that shows that masturbating can also actually be beneficial for your body and your immune system. So
And your mental health,
yes,
because it releases the happy chemicals.
yep, and those happy chemicals also can affect your NK cells. Because interestingly enough, NK cells and other cells in your immune system respond to happiness, respond to laughter, get stronger with laughter. So, you know, just hold the fuck on.
Don't
It's
put people at risk because you're lonely.
yeah,
I mean, if you want people to hang out with, get on the phone, get on Skype, video calls, talk on the phone or something. Chat rooms still exist too, I mean, but just don't go to somebody's house because you could actually, to be blunt, you could kill somebody.
Yep.
And you just don't want that on your conscience.
Yep. And so far, so far we seem to be having some impact, a positive impact. So we just got to keep this up. Don't, and the other thing I want to mention that's important is just because you are wearing a mask, you should not let that give you a sense of security, because those masks actually do not protect you from, they don't prevent you from getting the virus. It's more for someone that is already infected or may be infected, protecting other people from, and you're supposed to be 6 feet apart anyway at this point. I would say 7 feet, or just, you don't want to take any chances, guys. And real quick, Claudia, where are you from again? Because she's saying that where she lives, they can't go out without a written permit, and they have to write down where they're going, why they're going there, and that cops will stop them and ask them. So where are you from? See if she answers.
Honestly, I think that should be everywhere. What she's saying that they do. Oh, Romania.
Yeah.
They should really do that everywhere. I fully believe, though, because I think that's a great idea.
Well, from what I understand, in Hawaii, we've actually been having pretty good levels of testing so far, and we've also been employing contact tracing. So, if someone comes down with it, they ask a whole battery of questions, and they try and trace their movements over the past 14 days or more in some cases. And it's a very effective way of tracking it. And they've also started to take the data and develop temporal models and geospatial models to track the length of the virus and where it's mainly concentrated. So, and I think I read earlier today actually that they're going to start testing asymptomatic people.
Me too. I fully believe that every single person, regardless if they show symptoms or not, should be tested. Because the only way we're going to know the right numbers and actually fully know how far and how much this is spreading, we have to test every single person.
Yeah. No, I think I just want to mention I did see a rather entertaining video today. I think it was a mayor in Italy that was using a drone to to monitor area, and he found, of course, it was fucking teenagers because
Of course.
Gen Z can't get a fucking grip on reality apparently. Anyway, they found a group of teenagers like chilling in the woods, and this guy he had one of those megaphones strapped to the drone, and so the teenagers see the drone coming right at them, and they start running because the mayor at that point is fucking yelling at them, like, and like it's funny. He's like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Like, get the fuck home. You're not supposed to be out here. It's like he's like fully swearing at them and chasing them with the drone. But I mean, like, that's that's what I'm saying is creativity. There's a lot of ingenuity out there.
I would also like to add that the teenagers and the young 20-somethings that were going on spring break and they're not listening and stuff like that, they are not millennials. Millennials are in their 30s and 40s now, and we're the ones staying at home. The teenagers in the early 20s are Gen Z? We're not millennials. Stop treating millennials as they're still kids. We're not.
Oh. Well, Claudia, I don't know what kind of tests your government is employing, because I know that a lot of governments have differing testing, but here, for the most part, we've had testing that does take up to 2 weeks in some cases, but we're now rolling out, there's something I think like 18,000, maybe 13,000, 18,000 machines that are being distributed across the country that do a different type of testing, that is supposed to give you faster results within the same day. I think it's an hour, or maybe even 15 minutes. And we're also in the process of rolling out the antibody tests. The antibody tests are tests that are going to determine whether or not someone has had the virus. And the hope is, of course, if they've had the virus and they test positive for these antibodies, that the antibodies can then be extracted from these recovered patients or people who have recovered on their own, and be given to sick people, because there is established science in this approach, at least here in our country. So that's the hope, and from what I understand, in the UK, they're looking at that too. I think they're already rolling it out. Germany had, I think, one of the lowest death counts in the world, but again, because of this lag effect, that number has risen today. But
I was reading a couple days ago where one of the places in Africa, or Africa as a whole, I can't remember, was saying that there was it was hardly being affected at all by COVID-19, and that I think a relatively either only 3 people have died or only 3 people had the virus. I can't remember which one it was, but it was really, really low. But I don't know if that's changed over the week or so since I read that.
I think I heard that too. There's a doctor called Dr. John Campbell, you guys should check out. He's in the UK, but he does daily update videos on the situation. And he did mention that there are some countries in Africa that are having a pretty big problem, and that's mainly because a lot of these people they are extremely communal. They have to they travel to and from work, and they live in villages where a lot of people are living in sort of packed spaces, and it's a real challenge for some of these countries in Africa. So unfortunately, according to Dr. John Campbell, he's concerned because he's seeing some evidence of increasing communal spread, and but there's also likewise, as Aaron just pointed out, some data that suggests that at least in some countries in Africa too, there's hardly any cases, and some doctors believe that it's because they are taking, or they were taking, the anti-malarial drug, because malaria is a big problem in Africa. So some doctors are looking at that data, but that's one of the theories that some doctors have now.
Yeah, I did a quick Google search. Some of the countries are being, devastated, and some of them, only have 8 cases confirmed nationwide. So it really just begins.
Yeah. So there's some interesting. Some places are not. They're seeming to not be getting hit as hard.
Yeah.
From what I understand, even though the numbers that are coming out of Italy right now are still appallingly high, lot of deaths.
The Google said had 10,000 someplace. Some of the countries had 52 African countries, 10,000 plus cases.
Mm.
So it really just depends on the place. But I just thought that was interesting how, it's interesting how some places are being affected a lot harder than other places, especially in the same country like that. It was just interesting because I thought that was fairly interesting how the virus is hitting some places harder than others. Yeah, right, Claudia. There's a lot of things we still don't know about the virus. It is causing a lot of confusion.
Yeah, but again, ultimately, right now we have a lot of the best minds across the world working on this day in and day out, and again, here and other places there are signs that in some of the data that's coming in that things seem to be changing. So Claudia, as long as you're following the rules, and I would suspect that a lot of people there are following the rules, even though there are, like you said, a group of people that are not paying attention. But according to our doctors, 80% of the people who contract the virus will not require hospitalization, but it's the 20% that are being compounded that's overwhelming the hospital system, because you're having people show up to the hospital that could just be sick with the flu, but who are then also being exposed to the virus, and it's overwhelming the hospital system. But they do say that 80% of us will not require hospitalization because we'll either have mild symptoms or no sickness, not get sick. So, but I would also maybe point out, at least my theory is that uh, whatever, like, I don't know how your food situation is there, but here in the United States we have a huge problem, and unfortunately it's the way that our food industry is set up. It's total bullshit. Uh, Healthy food is more expensive than shitty food, and as a result of that, a lot of our population uh, have a lot of health problems. So I don't know how your guys' food situation is over there, but that also plays a part in it. Because they save, if you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if you have any kind of heart condition, you're more susceptible to the virus. So, um, but at the same time, we also have to be careful about what type of thoughts we're entertaining here, because the situation is confusing, yes, but we also have to be weary on misinformation, disinformation, um, and conspiracy theories that. Oh, okay. Well, you're still on Ash on the live chat. Her mother's phone died.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
that.
but you know the thing, like right now, what we have going on over here are a lot of people mentioning 5G, and we've had some idiots that have supposedly started going around burning the 5G towers. So
Yeah, because it's so good for the environment.
yeah, I mean the thing is when we start to entertain a lot of these scenarios that may not, I mean, we don't know. The fact is we don't know. But we shouldn't at the same time try and draw conclusions because we don't know. And doing so can also be dangerous because that may add stress, that may overwhelm, other people, and um gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. What do you guys eat? What's the staple food there? Because here in Hawaii, for example, unfortunately, there's a lot of white rice. There's a lot of sweet things. I mean, we use a lot. There's a lot of brown sugar because teriyaki sauce is used a lot here. A lot of noodles. Um, I mean, do you guys eat like a lot of meat and pasta? I'm just trying to get an idea. Sorry, by the way, for anyone that's listening on the audio. We're talking to people in the live chat on Facebook Live that are writing in. So we'll have to wait and see what she says. Anyway, Aaron, is there anything that you wanna, any niblets you wanna share?
No, I think everything's pretty much been covered thus far. I'm having brain fog right now, so I can't really think of anything else. Because I think we covered pretty good today with all the stuff we covered. So
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As Claudia says, um, they don't eat homemade food. They eat a lot of pre-made takeout and junk food. But again,
Yeah.
in our country, that's a huge problem because unfortunately, it's really expensive to eat better. Um, in my case, I had no choice. I told some people this before, but I'll just mention it again. I don't care. Um, about like I want to say maybe 2 years ago now, I landed in the hospital because my blood sugar was all the way up at 400. Um, I had to. I was rushed to the ER. They did a bunch of tests. They found that my kidneys were not filtering out the proteins in my urine anymore. So my kidneys were not working properly. My liver was swollen. Um, and I had lost 20 pounds just by peeing. I'm sorry to be gross, but. Um, and they told me at that point that I was type 2 diabetic, like full blown. So the doctor at the time, bless him, um, basically he told me straight up. He said, "Listen, right now you do have a chance to reverse it. If you don't, you are going to be sterile, and you may lose limbs." So that was a wake up call for me, and in my case, I was lucky to be able to, change my lifestyle, change the food I was eating. I cut out soda. If I did want to have something sweet, um, I switched over to Zivia, which is a great soda that's flavored with stevia. So there's no actual sugar in there. And I started drinking these BAI drinks. Got one right here. Um, Good stuff. And water. And I started doing more smoothies. So, and then as of last year, when I went to the endocrinologist, my A1C, which was at almost 12, um, was down to 5.0, which is normal. So, but again, it sucks. Yes, it sucks that here in this country, and apparently in where you're at too, um, the system is set up that way. It's bullshit. I know.
Yeah. And I know a lot of some problems with overweight is medical that people cannot control no matter what they eat. And another problem with how our country is the fact that they cannot even afford to go to the doctor to get like their thyroid checked and plated so they can help with their weight because they can't afford health care. So I mean the entire system, both with affording healthy food for those without underlying medical conditions and affording health care with those with underlying conditions, it's like everything's set up against them. And it's messed up. It's completely messed up how everything is.
Yep. Oh yeah, I love dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is awesome. Cacao, like so. Ideally, you want to get the organic chocolates that have a higher cacao percentage, because cacao is a superfood. So back when I went to the store, I would get the ones that have 72% cacao. Um, Lily's is a good brand. I don't know if you guys got Lily's over there.
I've seen Lily's on Amazon. So even if you can't get it in a country, you can look it up on Amazon, because I was looking up chocolate last night and I saw a bunch of Lily's different chocolates.
Yeah, those are delicious, and those are good. And the cool thing is they also have stevia flavored ones, so no sugar in that. But I wanted to end it minutes ago. Anyway, just to end, I'll pick this up again tomorrow. I'm sure you guys can hear the rain in the background. But I want to say that there are ways that you can boost your immune system. Vitamin D, vitamin C. I've been taking oh, okay. Well, you guys get... No, they eat mostly homemade. All right. What do you guys typically eat though? Like what kind of food? Um, but yeah, there's what I do. I take 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. I have a combination of vitamin D3 and zinc. By the way, guys, zinc has been having some pretty interesting spotlight surrounding it in regards to this pandemic. There's been studies studies done in China and South Korea and France, I believe, too, where a lot of doctors were showing that zinc is actually one of the keys in destroying the virus, because zinc fortifies the cell, and I believe it also strengthens the cell wall. And when used in combination with hydroxychloroquine, and by the way, guys, I want to say you cannot get hydroxychloroquine without the approval of your doctor, and even then, they have to decide if you are able to get it. As far as I understand, in our country right now, they had 30 million tablets being dispersed throughout the states, and because they also want to keep supply available for people who have rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. So they want to make sure that those people get their prescribed hydroxychloroquine as well.
I would also like to add that don't listen to Trump when it comes to taking the hydroxychloroquine if you aren't sick. Do not ask your doctor for hydroxychloroquine if you do not have the coronavirus.
Yeah.
You do not need to take it if you don't have the COVID-19. Do not ask. Do not ask.
Yeah. As far as my understanding, they're only reserving it right now for people who are in what's called the third stage. Even though there are some doctors that are now asking, that are looking at the data that's coming in and monitoring patients, and they're thinking that there's a way they might be able to address it at the second stage or second phase, which is when they start to exhibit symptoms of COVID-19. But basically, guys, you cannot get it if you do not have COVID-19. So do not ask your doctors. You won't be able to get it. And, there's more data that's coming out. But from what has come out, I know that some people have heard conflicting studies. But there was another recent study also coming out of China where they used hydroxychloroquine on their patients, and they found that 81% of them had no compounding side effects from the drug and were able to recover. So really, I mean, we just have to watch for the data coming in. But again, the ones that are in circulation right now that are out there are only being used for people who are in the third stage, the third phase. So you can't get it. So don't badger your doctors or because they're already overwhelmed as it is. So just be safe on your end. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. All right, so soups, purees, potatoes, potato heads, rice, garlic. Well, yeah, garlic is really good for you. Garlic is good for you, but the problem with rice, and specifically, especially, white rice, is that's a starch, and if you're not using the carbs because that is a carb, so if you're not using the carbs that you get from that the way it's supposed to be used, which is by doing exercise, what happens is that it breaks down into sugar, and that sugar gets stored into your fat, and so it just becomes stagnant. You're not using it, and that's why a lot of people get diabetes from having heavy rice diets. Potatoes, sweet potatoes have less carbs than white potatoes or red potatoes. Yeah, and again, you can find all kinds of helpful videos on this from professional doctors. So just check that out. But there are ways that you can boost your immune system right now. Vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C. That's the three main, really powerful things that can bolster your immune system. Well, Claudia and Ashley and everyone else that tuned in, thank you. Again, we went way over the time that I wanted, but it's all good. Talking is good. Talking is good.
Yeah.
So I'll pick this up again tomorrow. Claudia, if you ever want to join in too, feel free. We don't bite. I don't. At least not that hard on the first date. Anyway, yeah. So I'll pick this up again tomorrow. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Again, follow my SoundCloud. I posted it there. And my Spotify is pinned. If you guys want to check out my the playlist that I have on there. Again, I apologize for that crass name. There's no way I can change it, unfortunately. I tried to, and I found out I couldn't. So, sad face. Anyway. So,
and YouTube.
Yeah, so follow my SoundCloud. Again, that's soundcloud.com/The Unity Podcast. Please follow me on there, share it, comment, like it. And then same goes for my YouTube. My YouTube channel is Electric Panda 808. Please subscribe, comment, and that notification bell.
And share, share, share.
Yeah, share. We want to get this out there. Yeah. So I love you guys. Stay safe. Be patient. Be compassionate. This is a powerful time we're living in. We're gonna make it through, though. Trust me. And trust in yourself too, guys. Have faith in yourself. You know, don't underestimate your strength, because you guys are all wonderful. You're all amazing human beings. You're all stronger than you realize. And I love you. We love you. You're not alone. When I figure out how to get Zoom, I think I do have Zoom. So if you guys want to do that, let me know, and we can arrange that. Yeah. So have a good night wherever you are. It's 9 p.m. over here.
2:01 a.m. here.
Damn.
Yo.
All right, Claudia. Thanks for joining us too. Yeah. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Bye.